We acknowledge Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples as the traditional custodians of the land, and we pay our respect to their elders past and present. Hey everyone, welcome to this week's bulletin. I'm Cleo Cruz. I appreciate you being here, I really do. I know it's probably just family members of mine watching, to be honest, but hey, I've got like 1,000 of them, so that's fine.
And I'm Socky, and I'm pretty sure you're my only family member, Cleo.
Oh, hey Socky, thanks for coming on the show with me today.
Pleasure's all mine. It's good to be here. Really, I'll take any opportunity to wax lyrical about how much I hate billionaires.
Awesome. Well, I do have one thing I need to say to you though. I hope this is okay, but we've got two topics I really want to chat about today, and they're both kind of heavy. So I just want you to be able to say, hey Cleo, I need to tap out. This is getting a bit sad.
Oh, I appreciate that, Cleo. I'm just a sock.
Do you wanna have a safe word, Socky?
Maybe. I can't really do branding. I'm going to say speedy shoes.
Speedy shoes it is. All right, if you say speedy shoes, I'll make it light. So, some recent data released by Safe Work Australia shone a light on some pretty upsetting statistics about work and mental health. So, people like AMBOs, teachers, labourers, freight handlers, they're like upwards of 20 times more likely to report a psychological injury from work than other working Australians. Yeah,
Wow.
Socky.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a sock. I don't know much about the world, but I feel like something's not happening quite right there. I mean, if you look at the stats as well, of the serious claims for mental health conditions, around 3/4 were women, 16% were workers aged between 25 and 29, and 83% of them were healthcare and social assistance workers. I mean, something ain't right there.
So healthcare and social assistant workers, I don't know, Socky, do you want to like rattle off a couple that you know are in that industry?
I mean, it's been a while since I've been to a hospital, but I'm guessing maybe doctors and social care workers?
Yeah, but we've also got people like aged care workers, disability support workers, nurses. These are all people, Socky, that couldn't work from home during the pandemic. They're the people that got us through the pandemic. And I think we already know that they're not remunerated enough for the work that they do.
Oh, for sure.
Hey, Socky, do you mind if I tell you a bit of a personal story?
I mean, you tell me personal stories all the time, but go for it.
Thanks, Socky. So I live with a mental health condition, and fortunately for me, I have a manager that I can approach and say, hey, I'm having a bit of a crummy day. I'm going to take a personal mental health day, in the same way that I should be able to if I'm physically sick. So I guess what I want to say is I'm a full-time mum, I'm all these other things, as well as my job. And people at your work don't know what's going on in your personal life. They don't know if you're a carer, they don't know if you've got other stuff going on. So I guess what I'm trying to say is you're not your job and you got to look after yourself. You're better off, Socky, recuperating if you can. Take the time off. Anyway, tell us about the ASU poster.
Apparently, there's this real great poster that you can download if you're a member of the Australian Services Union. Cool. It's been done by Nikki Minus, who's a fabulous illustrator, if I may say so myself.
That's dope.
So you can pop it up at your workplace or, even at home if you're feeling that. But yeah, I think, you should really check that out. Even if it's just a reminder to, take a mental health day when you need one. I mean, even as a sock, your shoes can get a bit smelly and I need to take some time off.
Fair enough, Socky. I hear you. I'm sorry. Hey, make sure you feel comfortable coming to me if you can't work one day and I'll say, hey, that's cool, Socky. You take that time off.
Yeah. Important to keep your socks happy.
We've been forced to witness corporations recording windfall profits since the beginning of the pandemic, Socky. Like, I'm talking billions of dollars. So we're all here slumping further and further into a cost of living crisis paired with an inflation crisis with a side of wage stagnation. It's not very fair.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like my jam. What I've been reading in, your typical economic articles is that share buybacks are when companies purchase shares of their own company back from investors on the open market.
So this has the dual effect of cutting down shareholders, which results in more power within the company in the hands of fewer fat cats. I mean, did I say fat cats? I meant people.
Right. I mean, yeah. I see where you're coming from.
Yeah,
I mean,
sorry, Soki.
it does mean that there are less shares on the market, which drives up the value of the remaining ones.
Exactly.
Because that's what happened when something is, what's the word, scarcer, right?
Yes, yeah, exactly, Soki. So let me just use this spanakopita analogy for you.
Sounds tasty, I guess.
So say you've got 20 pieces of spanakopita and you're selling them for $2 a pop. I don't know who's flogging this cheap spanakopita, but let's just say. And then you're down to your last 4, but you still got a lot of hungry people who want some spanakopita. You can start charging a lot more for the remaining pieces. You get me?
Yeah, I think I follow.
Anyway, that's just a yummy little Greek analogy for you to kind of get the idea.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but up until the early 80s, it was illegal in the US because it was considered market manipulation. Is that right?
Yes, Soki, yes. That's exactly correct. But then one of those like neoliberal, racist American presidents with the default names, he implemented a rule exempting stock buybacks, as they're known there, because of course he did.
Right. So if I'm following, it was mostly a US thing. And we know how late capitalism is treating that country, but if I'm right, it's becoming pretty common here in Australia too, yeah?
Yes, Soki, yes. Like all the other mortally unhealthy things we've inherited from the USA, stock or share buybacks are a thing I wish never hit our shores, but hey, from 2021 to 2022, there was a 74% increase in ASX 300 companies engaging in share buybacks.
Oh, man. That was the thing I mentioned earlier. That ain't great. What this means is that some of those companies, so like mining and energy companies, doing that means we're seeing our gas and electricity bills skyrocket. That means you have to wear more socks when you can't turn the heater on.
The bad thing is that this is money that could be invested back into the company in the form of new technologies, research and development, updated equipment, and of course, higher wages for workers, like livable wages. You know what I mean, Soki?
Yeah, I mean, maybe you could pay me a little higher than you currently are, but, to end things on a high note, like we said we should.
We did say we would try and end on a high note.
We did say this. Conveniently, joining your union is a great way to wrest some control and power out of the top end town's hands. I mean, you're hearing it from the feet end of things. Although, if you know what union covers shoes and socks, let me know.
Yeah, who does cover you, Soki?
I don't know. Maybe the manufacturing, but who knows? I'm open to suggestions.
The Sock Union of Australia. As I always say, Soki, like and subscribe, please. And also, if you could be the first person who's not related to me to share one of these videos on your platforms, I'd be very appreciative. Thanks for joining us on the Bulletin, Soki. It was so nice to have you.
Aw, cheers.